Blog Talk Radio.
Hi there, and welcome to Gems of Wisdom with Teresa Marone. We have gemstones and crystals, chakras and shamans, experts to delight you with ahas and amens. The Conscious Collective is growing by caring. Join us and add your voice to the sharing. Hi there, and welcome to Gems of Wisdom. I'm Teresa Marone, and July is all about intuition. My special guest today, Misty Magic, will be joining us shortly. But first, I wanted to discuss just a few things that have been going on. First of all, I've been on brief hiatus, and I did do this show yesterday for some of you who might be a little confused, and I had a sound glitch, so I'm going to do it again. Evidently, I'm out of practice, and some of my equipment was faulty. Guess not using it for a while, and maybe a dog was involved. I really don't know. But the hiatus had to do with me unplugging a little bit and going down to the place in Mexico that many of you know I travel to frequently. It's called Huatulco, and it is an absolutely lovely spot on the Pacific coast, very, very far south on the Mexican coastline in the state of Oaxaca, which many of you have heard of or possibly visited. I know one of my good friends, Luann Gottschalk, has been close by there. But what I wanted to share with you today, with the theme being intuition, is what the draw is to visiting a place that is considered by some to be third world and considered by quite a few people who've never been there to be undesirable, possibly not safe, possibly not hygienic, possibly, there's a lot of misconceptions. So I wanted to address that. The food is grown by the person that sells it to you. The fish is caught, in the morning you see the fishermen go out, and when they come back with their catch, they sell it up and down the coast. So you could eat, theoretically, 5 different people could go to 5 different restaurants and eat the same fish. It's that fresh. It's caught that day. And the water is pristine. But there's something even a little bit more intoxicating about this type of living, and that is the community there. The community is something that here in my neighborhood, I don't know what any of my neighbors are doing. In fact, that's part of it, is the privacy factor in the neighborhoods, the distance with which we live, and the different places that we shop and the different options that are open to us kind of do the opposite of creating community. Now, many of us have a good neighbor that we can count on to watch our house or feed our dog when we're out of town, or, if we're in the hospital or something like that. But the day-to-day, everyday life is not something that we share. And that's something that I find intoxicating and wonderful about going to a place like this. For 100 miles up and down this coast, people know each other. When someone dies, everyone goes to the funeral. When someone gets married, everyone goes to the wedding. And it creates this sense of there's a calmness, a security, a knowingness. The children are raised knowing all of the children up and down, and they know their parents and their cousins. And what I'm getting to is that this creates an atmosphere where intuition is part of your conscious awareness. So with that said, I wanted to also let everyone know that something that I'm very excited about is I'm going to start doing radio shows with some of the people that I know down there so that they can share with you their story and how they came to be homeowners, business owners, volunteers in the library, in communities such as this, what the benefits are, what they've given up, what the sacrifices are, and what is the reality. Because I think that it's important for people to understand as they're trying to get more in touch with their own true, authentic selves, what are some very, very good tools to do that. And I think the lessons that I've learned in Huatulco, Mexico, are lessons that are valuable for all of us. So with that said, I would like to just kind of give you an overview of what the show is going to be about today. Using our intuition to create your most authentic, abundant, and prosperous self. What does that really mean? I mean, we're all thinking about developing our intuition, right? Well, it is my contention today that it really doesn't need to be developed. It is innate. It is part of how the universe works. And this is kind of a new take on intuition for me, because I've been, the kind of person that's going to join a class or read a book about how to develop my intuition. And it's only been in the past couple of weeks. Actually, I think it was brought on by my trip, away from the computer and being with people that just live this way. And they're not what you'd call metaphysical. They're in touch with their intuition at all times. We're going to do this in several ways. One, we're going to explore this grand trine that's being formed in the heavens as we speak. Some of you have joined the Magic Manifestation Ritual that I have on Facebook, and I've done several shows about how to tap into this vortex. But you'll notice I haven't really been very active with that in about a month, because I've been, well, for one thing, busy feeling it and manifesting my hopes, dreams, and desires. And I've been noticing a lot of you are very, very active right now, including our special guest, Misty Magic. She's doing amazing things with this vortex of energy. So we're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth. And my good friend Ginger McCord, who is the editor and publisher of the Indigo Sun magazine, has graciously allowed me to access her article that was written by Robert Brown for the July issue of the Indigo Sun, and to let me, use that on the show today to give you some ideas about it. And then when our special guest gets here, she's going to tell you some real life stories. She's an artist, an entrepreneur, and a magic manifestor. Her name's Misty Magic, and she's going to tell you how this energy has affected her. She's been part of it from the beginning with me, and she's a great case history to study. But before we do that, I wanted to talk just a little bit about intuition, and I wanted to share with you one of the things that has really impacted me in the past few weeks, and that is the inspiration by Marie Georgopoulos. She challenged me to create a 6-week course on the path to restoring true prosperity. And we're co-creating this 6-week teleseminar, and we're going to be doing a free teleseminar on July 31st to kind of get everybody aware of what we're doing. And she'll be my guest on the show coming up the 24th, July 24th. So we'll get to know Marie very, very well in the next couple of weeks. But she inspired me, and it caused me to dig a little deeper. And what I discovered when I started digging a little deeper about intuition is that when we stay in touch with our authentic self and truly check in with our intuition, we stop that self-sabotage that's really kind of programmed in our subconscious mind by society, by parental issues, by past relationships. There's a lot of things that are going on with subconscious programming as opposed to how we live consciously. So the idea behind the teleseminar is to restore true prosperity by healing through the soul records and also through getting more in touch with your true authentic self. This is the you that's beneath the surface. And if you feel like you've got the same old stories, you think you're doing something new, but it ends up the same way, if you have a lack of the money you want, the power you want, the love that you want, if you're still attracting drama, then I invite you to join me and Marie on this free teleseminar on Wednesday, July 31st at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. We will be revealing to you the 4 most common pitfalls of self-sabotaging patterns and the 2 easiest ways to overcome them. And there's a link on my Gems of Wisdom fan page, that's on Facebook, to go and register for this free event. And when you do, you'll get 2 free gifts. One is my PDF called The Energy of Money, and that teaches you how to recalibrate some words that might have a negative buzz, and so when you use them, it works in reverse of attracting the abundance, the prosperity, and the money that you want to attract. So we're going to recalibrate those words. And bonus number 2 is Marie's Prosperity Toolkit, which includes materials and a guided meditation on how to align with true prosperity. Marie's website is hearttransformations.com. She's an amazing person. I am thrilled to be working with her. And check out my fan page, Gems of Wisdom, and get the link to sign up for this free teleseminar. And don't forget to tune in for Marie's interview with me July 24th. All right, so let's get back to this grand trine. It is, it's amazing. And before we get going with Robert Brown's astrological take from a professional astrologer's point of view on what this all means and how it's happening, I want to give you a little background on why astrology is important. From the dawn of time, every single civilization that has ever been recorded has looked to the heavens for all types of information and solace. Looking into a full moon energizes you. When it's the dark of the moon, people are introspective. It affects all different types of things. But on a physical level, we've used the stars and the heavens and the planets for navigation, to know when to plant crops, to know when the major holidays are, the ocean currents, all these different things that we have always felt affected us physically. On the emotional level, all the civilizations have attached personalities and developed archetypes, such as mythology on the different heavenly planets, such as Mars and Venus, of course, the divine feminine, and Mercury, the master communicator. I mean, all of these archetypes came from naming the planets. And even our days of the week, I'm amazed that a lot of people don't really put these 2 things together, but each day of the week is named for a planet. Thursday is Venus Day. That's the one that's the hardest to kind of figure out. Friday's Jupiter. Saturday, of course, it's Saturn. Sunday, of course, is the sun. Moon is Luna, the moon. Tuesday is Mars Day. And Wednesday is Mercury. So, I mean, the heavenly emotional triggers are with us every single day. Mentally, astronomy and the science of charting the heavens with navigational charts and astrology has always been the way that we wrap our mental capacities and our conscious mind around how we use these planets. And all of this leads to a spiritual acknowledgement that consciously or subconsciously, we are more than we appear. We're connected with something so far away that we can just see the twinkle, but we can't touch it. So far, we haven't been able to get there. But there's a vast intelligence that created this global unity and this galactic unity that we're all part of. And on some level, we all know that when we look at the heavens. So that's why I really am excited about this grand trine, and I've felt so energized by it. And I'm going to share with you now some of the writing by Robert Brown. His article is called Writings in the Sky. And once again, thank you to Ginger McCord for the permission for me to use this in the show today. What we're going to start with is I just want you to know that I'm speaking as I'm reading. It's written in the first person, so this is Robert's words, not mine. Each month, I usually tell you, dear readers, about the nuts and bolts of the individual transits that are occurring each month. This month of July is very special in that we're moving towards the most interesting formation in the sky called a grand sextile on July 29th. Now, I'll interject here that this chart is on the Blog Talk site, and it's also on my fan page, Gems of Wisdom, right now, if you want to go there and like the page and look at the chart while we're talking about it. Okay, back to the article. The grand sextile consists of a grand trine in water and a grand trine in earth that overlay one another, forming a perfect six-pointed Star of David in the zodiac. Subsequently, the points of the star are each 60 degrees apart in the zodiac. A grand trine alone is most auspicious because the energy that's created by a grand trine is always channeled into positive outcomes. For the moment, though, I'll break it down, starting with the grand trine in water that occurs July 17th between Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Scorpio, and Neptune in Pisces. These three planets will each be 120 degrees apart in the zodiac. Visualize a perfect triangle within a circle. Jupiter loves expansion through higher knowledge and hopefulness, while Saturn is the realist that counts the beans and requires that we have our ducks in a row. Neptune is compassion and the need to take care of those who need help. This grand trine is auspicious in that it will bring about circumstances or laws or just a desire to do good deeds for each other. We can expect that situations will arise whereby those who have been left out will once again be considered in the scheme of society. When Lyndon Johnson was president, a water trine was present, and he initiated the Great Society, which included Medicare and Medicaid. These programs are now again under scrutiny as we're faced with rising health costs and the need to care for the young and old alike. Social movements will move us forward in the very near future. Now, Mars moves into Cancer July 13th, and Mars wants to take action. So Mars begins to trigger this grand trine in water on July 17th. Events are sure to bring about a need to act, and those events may be of crisis nature, and that spurs our compassion, but everyone listening to this show needs to throw out that most beneficial outcome, and let's see if we can't, as a collective consciousness, soften that blow and still receive the benefit. Venus moves into Virgo July 22nd. Venus in Virgo calls for sensible solutions. The moon enters Taurus on July 29th. Venus and the moon both form a perfect triangle with Pluto in Capricorn called the Grand Trine in Earth. If you're born with a Grand Trine in Earth, you have an element of financial security throughout your life. The Grand Trine in the Earth signs coupled with the Grand Trine in water, overlaying one another, forms the Grand Sextile Star of David. The Earth Grand Trine suggests resolutions to the fiscal crises that governments are dealing with all across the planet. Now, this is an opportunity for all of us to move forward with financial and social changes in all countries. And some astrologers have called this a time of the grand bargain, where leaders will come together and lay down their differences in the name of the people. I feel that this is like the macrocosm, and that each of us, now I'm speaking as myself, that each of us can tap into this vortex and add our own personal input and receive our own personal most beneficial outcome as we add energy to the powers that be in bringing this to a positive resolution for all the societies that are in turmoil right now, including the grand U.S. of A. Solutions will prevail. I'm back to Robert now. And we all stand at a threshold of change that will take into account the needs of those who have been left to fend for themselves, human rights and freedom. And we will hopefully dominate the programs and events that will be created due to the influence of this lovely, beneficial, grand sextile, July 29th. Hopefully we can all walk through it willingly and hopefully without violence. So I find all of this a fabulous counterpoint to the magic manifestation ritual that I created starting it's been about 2 months and 1 week. And we still have 19 days to go. So all of you out there who are looking within, I'm going to give you a couple of parameters. People who are currently trading time for money and feel a spiritual deficit, who feel trapped in a relationship or job, who feel that everything that they've tried in order to get into a different point of view has not reaped you the benefits that you truly feel you deserve and that you truly desire. I urge you to sit down and really get clear on what you think would make you happy. This requires some introspection. Why? Because dissatisfaction with life can be solved with very small changes, either in perception or in habits, and do it in a slow, sustainable way. It doesn't usually work to make a grand change, like today's the day that I'm going to quit my job and I don't care the consequences. These are not good thoughts. By allowing change to take root and blossom is comfortable. When you're feeling frustrated and trapped, sometimes any action seems preferable. But that's how you move in a parallel from one trap to another, instead of moving out into a new and greater sense of self, sense of purpose. This is what we're talking about, becoming your most authentic self. You have to act slowly, and you have to take it one step at a time. This is the way to transform. Now, there's another idea, and we're getting back to the intuition part of the show now, that the difference between impulsive desires and intuitive knowing, both are compelling. Impulsive desires, I just have to have this, or an intuitive knowing, this is what feels good. Both are compelling. How do you know the difference? Impulsive desires make you feel like, if I don't do this, I'm going to miss the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm going to miss the love of my life. I've got to do this. I've got to do it now. These are red flags. If it's an intuitive knowing, it's going to be insistent and persistent. It's going to be there for you. It's going to wait. If it's right, it will blossom over time, subtly changing your course. The feeling of pressure, urgency, creates flashes in the pan. The insistent and persistent nature of intuitive knowing will over time bring you to the place that you want to be. And this is what intuition is all about, in my opinion. Intuition is all about bringing it into your conscious mind so that it becomes a habit. Like I was feeling all the people do in this beautiful, totally laid-back fishing village up and down the coast where I just spent some time. Unconscious intuition is about coincidence, gut instincts, and character traits. Coincidence, you might notice that, oh, that's a coincidence. But you don't look at the deeper meaning. Gut instinct, you might know, oh, that didn't feel good, or, oh, this feels great. But you're not really getting in touch with why and what to do next with this gut instinct. In other words, you notice it, but you don't use it. And character traits. Well, character traits are what you have noticed have worked in the past and what you've noticed has not worked in the past, where you feel your comfort zones, where you've formed your habits. All of these have become an unconscious choice. Nothing wrong with it if it's working for you, but not exactly the conscious way to go. All right, so the next level of intuition is to get it in the conscious state. And the most important part of this is to stay alert. Don't look for coincidences where none exist. But if something happens and it feels like it might be a coincidence, be alert enough to notice it, make a conscious decision whether you want to interact with the person, the situation, the event, and look at the color, the shape, to see if it's got a resonance with you on an energetic basis. Explore it. I'll give you a couple of examples in a minute. But the main thing is to stay alert all the time, because this is how the energy field around us works. It sends us this insistent and persistent energy. Now, the second thing, is the third chakra. Gut instincts are a byproduct coming from the third chakra, not the other way around. So if you could get yourself into a meditative state where you're focused on the third chakra, based on the fact that you had a gut instinct that was either good or not so good, and really explore it in the meditative state, then you might really be able to receive messages from the energetic field that's all around us, which could be your spirit guides, angels, or simply your own innate intelligence teaching you here. And the last thing is your character traits. Well, all of them are up for you to transform. And if you're noticing a character trait that might be holding you back from getting your deep desires, that would be a harbinger for you to try to transform it. And there's many different ways. There's lots of teaching out there on transforming character traits, but the main thing is to just make a choice that that is something that you want to do. Now, I noticed that my special guest, Misty Magic, is on the line, and I'm going to go ahead and bring her on, and I'll share with you those couple of little case studies about some intuition information that I received while I'm talking with her. So let me go ahead and say,
hello, Teresa.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello, Misty. We made it today. Isn't it wonderful?
That is wonderful.
Awesome.
I'm so happy to
I'm
be
noticing.
here.
I know. I'm noticing that there's another caller on the line, and I'm not sure if that caller wants to speak with us as well. But I was going to say, if you're from the 937 area code, just hang on, and I'll give Misty and I about 15 minutes to talk, and then if you would like to speak with the host, you can press that number 1. All right. Misty, I'm going to give you a little introduction. Is that okay?
Yes, sounds great.
Okay. I met Misty about 2.5 months ago when she came down to a class that I was teaching. I was so honored to meet her and her husband. And she was talking about creating this amazing business, which we're going to talk about today. And, we talked about it quite a bit. We talked about how to use the chakra energies to create it. And then I found out about this Grand Trine that was going to be forming, and you were one of the first people to sign up and go for this magic manifestation ritual. And I wanted to ask you, how's that working out for you?
Oh, it's working wonders. I can't believe the energy we get just, going through the motions and everything. It's great.
Well, you're a multi-talented girl. You're an artist, an entrepreneur. You're a master manifestor. But tell me just a little bit about what you're creating in Gordonville, Texas, and how you got that vision.
Oh, gosh, where do I start? We just woke up one day and decided, hey, let's open a shop. My husband's like, okay, sounds great, So we are just trying to get everything together. We have a few crystals and everything, and we're just learning, and we really want to spread the word. So we thought, well, we don't know much, but we got to start somewhere. So we just got a little building, and it's just going great. And my husband, he's working a whole bunch and trying to get everything together, but it seems like everything just keeps falling into place the more, our needs are met and things for the shop are just coming like out of nowhere. It's crazy how everything just fits right together.
Well, what's the name of the shop?
Mystic Crystal. Alabama named it.
Crystal. Alabama
yes,
is Misty's husband. He's amazing.
Right.
And I think what our listeners would really be interested in today, and I'm going to kind of steer you through this, Misty, is a lot of people have a lot of fear attached to trying new things. And I know that you had some fear as well. You expressed it to me. But the thing that got you beyond your fear and into action, was that a desire, an intuition, or a conscious decision?
More of a desire to, learn about crystals and to really share about them. We didn't think there was that many people in our area that was really needing them or anything, but the more I tell people about it, the more they're like, oh, I can't wait for you to open, or they're just excited. And I was like, wow, I didn't know this many people knew about it, and I really think it'll be great for our community. And we do some online as well, and lots of people have shown interest in everything. And
wonderful. Well, so the name of it's Mystic Crystal, and you can find Misty on Facebook, Misty Magic, MAGICK, and Mystic Crystal is there as well, right, as a fan page?
Right. I have two of them. One, I started with just one, and I didn't have very much inventory, so I started putting quotes and different things on it. And then once I got inventory, it was like, well, you can't really tell that I'm selling crystals here. So I also have a Mystic Crystal shop page, and I'm trying to just keep only crystals and things that I'm selling on that page, so it's easier for people to find exactly what they're looking for. But a lot of things haven't made it on there yet, so if people have questions or want a specific thing, they can let me know.
Yeah, they can private message you on Facebook or find you, because I'm going to post all this information on my fan page, Gems of Wisdom, at the end of the show, so they can go to my fan page and find you easily. So, Misty, do you mind if I get a little personal with you?
Okay.
Misty's like, you didn't tell me that, Teresa. There's shows about intuition, and the things that we do are very interesting. But the reason why we do them is the thing that I find that my listeners are more interested in. And you expressed to me that you didn't feel that you were that intuitive, and you didn't feel that you were that good of a manifester. But I'm here to tell you that you are. You are both. And the way that you can see that is that you have leaped with all 4 feet into a new enterprise, not really knowing what the end result, but you had faith. And I want you to talk a little bit about that type of faith in the universe providing, so our listeners get a real sense of who you are.
Well, I'm exploring more and more every day with ways to play with crystals and how to use them productively. I've done a lot of crystal grids, and you're right, I really wasn't sure. I don't, intuition, what's that? Everybody talks about it, and, some people say, oh, I communicate with my higher self or whatever. I personally don't have that, I don't think. I don't really know. We just kind of have ideas, and we just go with them, and a lot of people are like, that's not going to work, and we don't listen to that. I try to surround myself with positive people, such as yourself, like-minded people, and I think that's why I'm on Facebook so much, because there's so many of them there, and I think that it really helps to be around people that kind of have a sense of what I'm talking about and really understand, and can kind of direct me, okay, let's go this way, and I've really been blessed with a lot of people to help me out here and teach me, and Alabama's been a really good blessing too. He's like, okay, let's just do it, so.
He's so clear. But, it's my feeling, and you tell me what you think about this, that if you can hold your own place vibrationally in a very clear place and really take care not to allow anyone to take that energy from you without your knowledge, your permission, your consciousness, if you know what I mean, that you will attract that same vibration. Everything in the universe is a vibrational match. So if you allow yourself to maintain And if you guard your vibrational self to maintain that which you want to attract, you can't miss.
Yes.
I mean, that's what you're demonstrating, honey, so clearly. I'm so honored to be part of your world.
Oh, me too. You've done a lot for us. And I do believe you there where you say guarding. That is, I think, our number one deal, because there are so many negative people out there. And even if it's not about crystals, whatever your dream may be, there's a lot of them that are like, you can't do that. But really, you have to X that out and say, I can do this. That's why on the back of my car I wrote, what I think about, I'm able to bring about. And then every time I see my car, I try to, I'm going to say that thing. When I go to Walmart and come out, I read the back of my car, and I just distill that in my head, you can do this, we can do this, and to have your higher vibration, you have to constantly remind yourself, I am enough, I get enough, and the universe is abundant, and you have to believe that. I really do think, and I think that's what kind of brings everything together.
It does. It brings it into reality. But, there's a lot of people struggling right now, and you and I have met them, and you and I have mentored some of them. I mean, I know that that's your nature. And what my mission is in the next 19 days between now and the Grand Trine that's being formed in the heaven is to give people some real tools to hang on to. And what you're talking about is exactly it. It's not enough to just set the statement and go through life, weeks and months. You have to do it in a conscious manner on a daily basis. Like you said, what I think about, I bring about. That's the perfect mantra. And some people who are struggling to raise their vibration to a place where they can attract something better, so many times default, they create something different, but it's still the same. It's still the same trap. It just has a different face on it, a different location on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And being able to really move upward, up the scale of transformation and change and a higher vibration and sustain it. See, that's the thing. I mean, I can sustain a 7-day fast. But I can't sustain that for the rest of my life, and that's kind of my analogy. You are a fine example. So when are you guys, first of all, tell me, it's Gordonville, Texas, and didn't you say you're on a major highway on the way to a lake? Tell me about the direction.
Yes, we are 9 miles south of Oklahoma on 377 in Gordonville. Whitesboro is the next. I think we're like an hour away from north of Dallas.
And what's the lake? Which lake?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Red River.
Oh, it's the Red River.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yes. So when people are driving...
Yeah, not like you're going to Sackerville in Gainesville. It's east of Gainesville, about a half hour east, and then you're going to go north on 377.
And what would they be looking for? Mystic crystal?
I hope to get a sign soon. On my Facebook page, there's a picture of the building when they brought it out, and I can go ahead and take another one. But when you come, I believe we're 14 miles from Whitesboro, and when you come over, I think it's like the third hill from Whitesboro, you can see us from the top of the hill. We're kind of in the valley of the two hills, and it's a bright green building, the roof is.
It's bright green?
Yes.
I love that. So when are we going to have the grand opening? Because I'm for sure coming up. Because Bama's going to cook, right?
Bama's probably Alabama does cook. But we had hoped to do for August 1st. We're not very good on deadlines and things. We're flexibility people. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Okay, because I am so doing a road trip.
Yay, I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm not real sure, but I want to shoot for around August 1st, like a soft grand opening at first.
Yeah, we'll do the big one later because it's too much pressure. We don't need pressure.
Yeah, just in case. We're just jumping into this blindly, so we're going to have to play it by ear.
I see. Well, up on the Blog Talk site for this show, I put a picture of the Gypsy Sisters trade thing. I found that was a really interesting Facebook event. Tell everybody about your Gypsy Trade Day.
Oh, it was so much fun. We had our first one last month. A group of my friends, we put that together, and it wasn't just me, trust me. Diana Brown and Becky Long have helped out tremendously in it. I just kind of put the names together and things. And
it's a great picture.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, we just shared gifts among people. We have a few people that aren't in business. They're just sharing gifts. They'll call one of the other people and send something, or I think two of them sent something from their own. It's really blessed us because, not only do you get to share with somebody else and get something, but I found that I was able to, I don't make decisions well, so I went to my shop and it gave me more time to just kind of get to know my products and crystals and things and kind of just pick out something special for somebody else. And it was really cool to...
Do you ship it to them then? You ship it to them then? Okay, so what you do is on the Facebook page, you go on, you put a picture of it, and then you ship it to that person. But is that the premise?
No. Don't ruin the surprise. No. After the last weekend of the month, I send out everybody's addresses to them on a PM. I send them who they're going to mail to, and then they decide what they're going to mail, and they mail it out. And then the first Sunday of the month, we all wait and open it on the Sunday, and then we post the pictures of what we got. Yeah, it's kind of like Christmas. It's neat.
So it's kind of like you just draw the names. You just draw the names and make sure that everybody gets somebody, like Secret Santa?
Yes, like that. Everybody TMs me their name and their address, and then I get it together and send different people out. This time I had one of my children just pick two names, and those two went together, and the next two, and we were an oddball, so I sent two people out this month. But that was really a blessing because I was able to get two orders from the second one, so it was really cool. And then, I want to just reiterate. I just want to reiterate this for our listeners because I want them to be able to participate. So what you want to do is go to Misty Magic on Facebook and private message her your address. And what she's going to do is pair you up with someone that you probably do not know, but somebody that she knows, and everybody's going to get a free gift. And which Sunday of the month is it? Is it the first Sunday? The first Sunday of the month, yes.
And then the first Sunday of the month, there's a Facebook page called Gypsy Trade, what is it?
Sisters, yes. But it's actually a group because we didn't, I just made it a group instead of a like page because I didn't want, a whole bunch of different people to be able to access it. So it's just the
awesome.
people with.
So it's a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And say the whole name of it one time.
Trade Days with Gypsy Sisters.
Okay, so we're going to have to put that on the Gems of Wisdom fan page so everybody can find it. Will you let people join your group?
Right, yes. The directions are that picture that you posted, there's directions above that picture. And then really if they just, PM me and say, hey, I need more information about your gypsies, that will give me clear direction in what to do from there. But, yeah, we just now it's only within the USA. I seen one in the middle of last month that around the world they're doing it. I can't remember what it is, but we were like, wow, our idea went overseas, So if you want to do it outside of the USA, we'll have to look them up again. But this one's just within the USA, just because shipping is so much to go out of the USA, and we didn't want to have to put that burden on people. So it's just one gift, and it's preferably around $5. But mine, I really didn't have a $5 gift I wanted to send, and I really think that the universe and karma will, make up for that if you choose to do more than a $5.
Absolutely. Well, so that's one of the best and most creative ideas that I have heard in my entire career. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew about that. I loved it. And I'm going to participate next month for sure. So I want to we've got about 5 minutes left, Misty, and I wanted to make sure that we talked about your artistry. You are a jewelry maker, right?
Oh, gosh. I am learning to wrap. Yes, ma'am. I've been doing it for a little bit now, probably a couple of months, and I think I'm doing really well. I've sold quite a bit, so I guess others think I'm doing well.
I think you're doing well.
It's a fun new experience. It's I throw away a lot of wire, but a lot comes out good. And it's weird because the jewelry is different shapes and sizes and everything, and you go in thinking, oh, I'm going to wrap it this way. Okay, the fourth time, it doesn't come out the way you thought, but it does turn out really good. And I found that when I'm wrapping, it's better to just get a piece of wire and start wrapping and see what you come out with.
Right. Let the wire and the stone kind of decide how it's going to flow, right?
Right.
Kind of.
And
go ahead. Are you there? Well, I was just going to say, of all the work that I've done with crystals, I have never been called or drawn to want to do that. And, you gave me a gift, the Labradorite that you had wrapped when I saw you a couple months ago, and I keep that on my desk all the time, not because it's the most fancy or the most amazing thing, but it has it's a perfect vibration. It's just symmetrical. It's easy, and it makes me feel calm, and I love it. And I love that you chose it for me.
Well, thank you. Now, that was one of my first pieces, so the next piece that you get will be even better. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Well, I wanted to get your opinion. I have been talking about, and I'm about to launch my online courses for crystal healing and gemstone therapy. And I know that you've been very involved in that. You've got some of my DVDs, and you've been to a class of mine, and you've taken some classes elsewhere. What are the things that you think that would be most important for me to put into my course?
Oh, gosh. I do believe in, I'm on a path of ever learning. I don't think that I'm going to learn enough. Even, I've taken a few classes, and they all kind of seem to have the same thing, yet different. It's chakra classes, yes, but there are so many things you can do within the class to make it different. I'm not really sure. I need to learn more about, I don't know. I need to learn more about a whole bunch of things.
I think you're
like
brilliant.
the properties of the crystals, you can Google that and stuff. So I'm not really looking for a class that's going to tell me about that. I'm looking more for a class that's going to help. Yeah. I'm looking for class that's going to help me learn more productive ways to use them every day. I make crystal grids and I do this and that. I don't really know why. I just stick them together, and when people ask me, why'd you do that? Well, because it felt right. And most of my grids
that's the challenge. And that's the challenge, because a lot of people like yourself who are so intuitive and you just kind of get it. And that's how I was too. But when you start trying to teach a course and, people don't really trust their intuition or whatever, what I think that I'm going to do, and you tell me if you think this is a good idea. I'm going to do I'm going to take the intuition out of it for the basic course, and I'm just going to do, all right, if you want to lower your blood pressure, you're going to do these 4 stones in this place for this amount of time. And if you want to cure depression, I'm just going to go by symptoms as opposed to, we'll just, place your hand over the stone and see what it says. That will come. I'm going to trust that will come. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yes, I do think that's a great way to start, because, there's so many 101 classes out there. Everybody knows, you need a purple one for your third eye, a blue one for your throat chakra. Most people know the basics. I personally am looking for the next step, like at your the class I went to down there, you were able to say, hey, you don't have to have the blue one for your throat. You can interchange it with the color from the solar plexus, right?
Right. Right. Okay. The complementary colors, yeah.
Right, right. So that, I thought that was interesting and haven't seen it. So, different things like that would help would be great.
Well, I tell you what, Misty, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a 12-part series, but I'm going to send you personally the first hour of it, and I want your personal opinion. I trust your opinion. Would you do that for me? So my whole entire success or failure of my entire career rests upon your shoulders.
Oh, great.
No pressure.
No. You're great. I'm sure it's perfect. But I will let you
know. and tell Bama to watch it too, because Bama, he's got these little pearls that just kind of pop out.
Are you sure? He might not. Do you know Bama? He's going to tell you exactly what he thinks.
That is exactly what I want. But I'm serious. When you guys are ready. One of the girls that was in the class with you, her name's Kathy Sheets, and she's my good friend and my neighbor. She just got a new car, and we're like, okay, when Misty's ready, we're hopping in the new car, and we are road tripping up to Gordonville, Texas, to help open up the Mystic Crystal Shop on Highway 377, and it's green, and her new car is green, so that must mean something.
Well, good, yeah, and you don't have to wait. I have had a couple people, we don't have a porch on yet, and we don't have gravel in the parking area, but, a few of my friends have come over and looked through the shop and were able to get first dibs on things, too, so.
Woohoo! I think we better do it. And I also want to encourage everybody to look at the Blog Talk, those rotating pictures, and there's that the Gypsy Trade Sisters. This is a great idea, people. This is a great way to network. It's a great idea to get to know some other people and to have some community, which is how I started the show today, the importance of community. And, Misty, you're really creating that. I look forward to seeing your career. But I encourage everyone to participate in that get your addresses in now for the first Sunday in August, right?
Right.
Awesome.
Yes, and, not only, at first we thought, oh, this is going to be great for our business, but really it has helped personally, too. It is really, I think it's higher my vibration because, you get to spend time with that, and then whatever somebody else sends you, it's a new thing. Not everybody within this is doing crystals. There are some with herbs and lotions, and just anybody can participate.
Exactly. So, Misty, what is the most important thing right now that you're focused on internally? When you're making your decisions, and this is like your last thought for our listeners today, you shared with us your bumper sticker and that's how you stay grounded. But what is your driving force right now that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Actually, well, I give myself permission to be happy and successful every day, and I just want my children to say, hey, look what Mom did, or, have something out of the ordinary to just share with people, and I want my children to see how happy the crystals have made us, and, well, they're learning about them without even really teaching them, and I learn more showing them because they're so creative. Their questions are nothing what I thought of. Well, let me go research that for you, So really, I just think it helps to, be open-minded and just go for what you're wanting to do. There's no limits. You can do more than what you actually think you're going to do, as long as you just take the first step, and don't listen to the negative people, and remind yourself every day, hey, I can do this. It's up to me to do this, and it really helps if you have somebody there to support you. But I understand not everybody has a great husband like mine, and children that are like, hey, let's do this with crystals, So you can do it by yourself too. And if not, get online, get on Facebook, find you a friend that's like-minded.
Amen, sister. I admire you, Misty. You're one of the best things that's happened to me in my life, and I'll have to share with you all the different things that someday that were seemingly coincidental, which goes back to the theme of the show today. But you are a God force in my life, and I know that anything that you approve of in my life, that I'm on the right track. And you're very important to me, and I'm sure there's others who would say the same. Thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we will be in touch, my darling, and you have a beautiful day, and hugs, hugs, hugs to your children in Bama, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, I'll be in touch, Misty.
Okay.
Bye. Well, that was Misty Magic, and she's a rare jewel, and she's somebody that I would encourage all the listeners today to keep in touch with on Facebook, because she's destined for great things. I'm sure you could tell that she's got her heart and her soul moving in the right direction. So just to wrap up the show today, I want to remind everyone to stay in conscious touch with your intuition. Stay alert to coincidences. Take your gut instincts into the meditative state, into the third chakra, using the color yellow and the idea of I process this thoroughly. Take character traits that you think that you can do a little better, or character traits that you'd like to slowly phase out, and transform them consciously. Make these decisions. If there's something in your life that you want to change and it's a desperate desire or a desperate unhappiness, remember that the best way to do this is insistently and persistently, very slow, subtly changing over the course of time. This is what will sustain you. Very impulsive decisions that make you feel an urgency or a nervousness or that you're about to miss an opportunity will keep you in that parallel track. And don't forget to go to my Facebook fan page, which is Gems of Wisdom, and click on the link for the Path to Prosperity, and join Marie Georgopoulos and I for our free teleseminar. All you have to do is sign up, and you'll receive 2 free gifts. One other thing that I think is a great idea is to visit my website, joyfuljourneys.us. Scroll down just a little bit on the homepage, and you'll see sign up for the newsletter. If you do that, you'll receive a free gift from me about color and gemstone therapy called Color Me Beautiful. I'd love for you to join my network by joining my newsletter, and I'll be sending one out in the next few days with some of the information about the teleseminar from Marie Georgopoulos and I. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. I've really missed my radio show, and I was so happy to receive a lot of the, great feedback that I got yesterday, and I was sorry the audio file didn't work, but we've done it again today. I'll send it out. And I want to leave everyone today with a beautiful song that symbolizes how I feel about the universe. I'm glad our paths have crossed, and may all of your journeys be joyful. I'm Teresa Marone, and this has been Gems of Wisdom. Amazing grace. That sound is sweet. It's the sound of love mixed with universal peace. We must unite. And with peace we can ignite the promise of fulfillment, that this free will experiment of humankind is divinely right. We've been lost. I pray we're found. But now we must sing our song of love out loud. With one worldwide voice, we share our galactic mission to join the conscious collective and bring peace to fruition. Much love.